Using AI in your products can often bring a frown to the average person. It might be because it looks bad or just off in general, like AI art in stores. Sometimes it's because it replaces the job of actual humans, like those weird Coca-Cola ads. Wait, actually it took 100 people to make this and 70,000 clips? Or because it might make it look broke, like when making Minaj, AI generated promos for her album, which also look bad. But what about when indie artists start to use AI art as well? One such game on Twitter got a lot of traction for all the wrong reasons. Hello, I'm Dovin, and I'm actually alone here today. This video comes after Halloween, and my friend Samantha is too hungover to chat, so it's a solo video. Yay! October 31st, 2025, the Twitter account Toonsouls Game tweeted, "My game is good, the algorithm just ignores me." And the video he posted, which I'll describe to you because you're probably just drawing or too focused on eating instead of paying attention to the screen, is that of a character in knight armor in a very Cuphead Dark Souls-ish looking game. If you don't know about Cuphead, it was a 2017 game that was famous for its hand-drawn assets on paper. Its unique art style and gameplay made it quite a huge success. I played on my Switch 1, but never finished it. The game inspired others, like that of A Chance of Portals, a 2023 game with a similar-ish visual style. And I won't be knocking on it too much, because unlike this video's main focus, at least that team actually drew everything in the game. The second part is Darksouls, which is a 2011 third-person action role-playing game, wait a second. Did this guy just rip off a 2017 parody video of Cuphead and Dark Souls? Damn, this idea is like extra unoriginal, huh? I mean, he literally used screenshots from the parody video in one of his update videos, like, come on, man. Anyway, the Toonsouls game uses generative AI in its backgrounds that are edited in Photoshop, at least per his now deleted tweets on the matter, though he still has those up on his YouTube channel for us to see. Everything to delete in one place, I suppose, but not the other. Now, I can believe the guy maybe at least drew the characters, but the use of AI in the backgrounds is kind of bad for a couple reasons. Actually, he also deleted this other tweet about turning his 2D character into 3D, but that never went anywhere because characters are still 2D. First and foremost, designs made purely by generative AI cannot be copyrighted, meaning anything he creates, anyone can just steal. Like if you pirate the game and just yank the asset out, that's yours, I guess. You can copyright heavily modified works, but I personally don't think he's doing many edits to these pieces. Next is the aspect of direct creation. There's no thought when it comes to the background visuals or the game's art style. It's quite literally press a button, make asset. This devalues the game as a whole and undermines the entire work by forgoing the process of creation just to get the end result done faster. Thus, you'll be more harshly judged based on the price creators wanting to charge. On top of that, there is passion and love that is seen in more traditionally made games. That there are reasons why designs look a specific way, or how the audience can appreciate the hard work the game creators do in a project. That a fan is supporting the artist or artists in their struggle to create, rather than paying a guy to shit out art with no thought behind it. Alongside that is the aspect that takes away from the artist's own creativity. To rely on a computer to imagine for you is the lack of art in its purest sense. Nothing AI generated in its purest form is art. There's no expression or application of human creative skill as per the liberal definition. Typing a sentence for a story? Yeah, that's art. Typing a sentence and then generating art is kind of like paying a guy to be like, hey, can you draw this for me? And you're like, that's mine, I did that. Of course, I'm not going to be very strict in terms of AI as a whole, by distaste. There are things like procedural generation with pre-made assets that can help the process. When AI is used to assist in creation of art and not as a pure replacement of, then there's a lot more nuanced discussion. Though in all this discussion about art and creativity, I don't think this person actually wants to create art. Checking the Steam page, or pages, you start to see some odd things. Under the Toon Crafter Developer tab, you see these other two games, Pinball Toon and Toon. One a first-person shooter, the other pinball game with some Reese assets. The former, which would release in 2024, is probably inspired by Mouse, which was seen all the way back in 2023. But it could just be a coincidence. But if you click on the publisher, Indie Games Publisher, and check back at his tweets, he has shit out much of the same Cuphead ripoffs. And also the Getting Over It game, for some reason. Before AI, he would actually draw the backgrounds, or trace, I'm assuming, along with the characters. These games, mind you, often cost $20. Like, wow man, come on. He's essentially been remaking the same games for about 5 years, if not longer, and using different developer names despite just being the same person making the same stuff over and over again. As an aside, they just use generic names like cross-platform and Indie Games Publisher, and damn, there's a lot of sequels to his games. When it comes to the actual creator to these games, it's seemingly just one guy, but I couldn't find much about him. In fact, coming through his tweets, despite all the negativity and people making fun of him, he remains positive. With a lot of broken English, he tries to talk about his game, but in a lot of the tweets I've seen, while he types a lot, it kind of just doesn't say much. Like, when the topic of AI comes up, it's not of like AI taking away jobs from somebody else, it's just that people are mean to him, so he won't do it anymore. Like, he keeps asking if people like it or not, and people are like, no, we don't like it. Why do you keep asking us? I hate to tell you, dear viewer watching this video, but in my humble opinion, this guy's just a scammer who will do anything to get your attention. The recurring things I keep seeing him mention about his life is that 1, his dog was poisoned, 2, he is very poor, and at one point he's on the streets while making these games. Lastly, of 3, his mom's dead. And how much he would have loved if he made it big of his games. Of course, I don't want to be insensitive, as maybe his mom is deceased. that is quite a tough experience to go through. But Jesus Christ, does he love bringing up being poor and momless to like anyone and everyone. Like, take a look at this exchange right here. So the first tweet, someone says to use AI. Toonsouls says, well, when I first started making these, AI didn't exist, but I did tests with AI. Now people don't want me to use AI, so I can't use AI, so I'm doing it manually now. And then someone says, so you either been doing this since the 1950s or 2018. Is this all you had to show for it? And he said, I've developed other games with this art style, and yes, that was before 2018. He then says, yes, I drew art before AI, and then his mom passed away. I mean, like, I'm sorry, she may have passed away, but that doesn't mean you can like use AI. Those are the two different things. And not really what they were asking. Come on, man, just let her rest. Honestly, I don't think engaging with someone like this is worth your time, either making fun of him or praising him ironically. I never paid for any of these games. All the footage you saw is just from like YouTube and this actual Steam page. And I don't think you should pay for this as well. To me, what it looks like is that these games are made bad on purpose, or for most people to talk about it on the off chance someone buys it. You could be banking on someone making a video, sort of like this one, about how bad it is, and the fact it might encourage other people to buy it and see how bad it is. When I see joke tweets about, imagine how crushed this man's spirit is, and this dude in the replies and is like, peaceful guy, I don't think any of these words will actually affect him in any meaningful way. I mean, there's a tweet that he retweeted referencing how he brings up his dead mom a lot, and the person tells him to stop, and the Toonsouls guy just like retweeted it like it was nothing. Alright, I'm not saying one is justified in attacking him where there's no consequence in doing so, but I must ask you, the audience, what you get out of giving this potential scammer any attention. Even if false positivity, you're helping out this grifter to get his message across. The language he uses in his tweets along with the actual products he releases is nothing more than a way to get you to engage with it. It did feel weird, talking about all the, dead mom talk and everything, but at least I saw on Twitter other people saw it too, like it wasn't just a me thing, I do feel at odds even making a video like this, because I may be adding to that sort of any publicity is good publicity. But if you have thoughts about the situation, just like leave it under this video. Don't bother him, and you know what, just ignore him, as it's really the worst thing you can do. Actually, I guess another worst thing you can do is just pirate his games, make them free, but also don't do that. Now, this isn't to be confused as someone trolling, as I don't think he is a troll. I think he's someone trying to make games as easily as possible, no matter the quality, and just banking on people being mean to him in order to get money. I always want to encourage people to draw and create, to improve and further their career, as one of the worst things you can do to an artist is discourage them from creating. But I don't think this person wants to be an artist. I think they just want to put out a product no matter the cost. You vote with your dollar, and I just think you should take it elsewhere. Perhaps there could be a case that he improves and wants to get better, but perhaps I'm too cynical in this case to see that. I would love to be proven wrong and eat my words, as that would mean he got better, but maybe he's too far down the rabbit hole to really get out of it. Get it? Because I'm a rabbit. Alright, this video was a bit of a downer, so let's get out of my head for a bit and see what my fans have said. Depends if the devs can't easily afford an artist for budget reasons, but still try to put in much time and effort for the product to be the best it is. With little use of AI, then it could be fair. But the majority of the art is AI, poor execution and promo art, or the base game, then it could lose its credit being made properly with a caring team / solo person behind it. AI is inherently an insult to art, both to the medium and the hobbyists. Art is meant to convey emotion and a touch only a real person can possess. AI just follows a series of algorithms and other media and feed it through to make something that's vaguely original. But to imply AI has any originality is an overstatement. Terrible, because that's probably one of the laziest things to do, especially making a game. What's the point of making a game that uses art and stuff if you're just gonna half-ass it and use AI because it's free? No creativity at all. Unless you're just doing it to make a quick buck, that is. I've seen too many already on the Play Store. I'm not the best artist in the world, and if you think that, then, buddy, you gotta see some other artists. But I like to draw, edit videos like these, and to create. To try and find new ways to do things, I find enjoyment in the process of making stuff. Even if the things I create are not that good, I'm still happy to have at least tried. And I like when other people actually try as well. There are thousands if not millions of artists out there with great talents that are not seen, while slap like this is more focused on. Of course, I'm not forgetting the aspect that it is quite funny to talk about stuff like this, but in terms of spending actual money, I think there's more deserving game devs out there. But when it comes to games like Toonsouls, I do think about other aspects of the creation. Outside the AI art and dead mom talk, there's still programming going on, which does require some skill. But with his use of AI, and I could seemingly want to create something new or fun, I even cast doubt on his programming if he actually done that himself or just copied and pasted it from someone else. Perhaps that is its own personal hell, that when you offset so much of the work to AI, the stuff you actually do is overshadowed and distrusted, that the actual effort you put in is not fully appreciated because of the path you put yourself on. Genuinely, I would prefer his former art than AI art, even if technically the art looks better than his old stuff. The old stuff means that he's tried, one to apply himself and add his own unique style, even if it is just a ripoff to Cuphead and other games mentioned before. In the end, maybe the Toonsouls person will change, and suppose we'll have to wait and see. But speaking of human creativity, my birthday was recently. It was on Wednesday, November 5th. And thank you so much for all the birthday messages. It really meant a lot to me. And I also got 3 pieces of lovely art. Look at on screen. Look at that. It's very cute. Amazing. Wow. Until next time, you, people watching this, are you watching a group of people? Anyway, you gotta keep on drawing and keep on creating stuff. Have fun and have a good day.